Hey everyone, welcome back to another day with Money, Finance, Freedom, your ticket to financial freedom. Today we're going to be going over the Biden inauguration and all of the outcomes that we're going to be seeing from this new presidential cabinet that he has laying out and the overall trends that the markets are having. Now, a lot of people are predicting some sort of crash, some sort of market fall off because Biden has been elected, all of the changes he's going to be making. But I do want you to remember that even though Biden is the head of the country, he does not lead the stock market. We as investors and the big dogs in the investing income industry, those are the people who keep the market afloat. Now, Biden can do a lot with different tax cuts and putting money into different industries. And from that, we will see individual stocks rise higher than the market. So don't be too worried about the overall trend of the market and wondering if it's going to fall. Be worried about the individual stock picks that you're going to have. Remember, if we look back at the overall stock trends, we're going to look at the last 3 years of the S&P 500. What are we going to see? We're going to see an overall increase. Obviously, there are some big dip dives that we see over in March, but we know that's from the pandemic. And what did we immediately do? We rose to the occasion and we saw the stock market come back up to its previous all-time high and then exceed that all-time high. So now that we're past our worries for the stock market crash from Biden's inauguration, we can look into stocks that we know will gain potential money in the future. So where are we trying to put our money? The first thing we're going to look at is DraftKings. Now, this is a stock that a lot of people have had their eye on in the past few months, but we're going to go ahead and look them up. So we've got DraftKings here. And as we're looking into this, we're going to want to look at their overall trends and the volatility that they've had. Now, we're going to focus on the last year of this stock and see where it's gone. We do see some high peaks and some low valleys, but more importantly, we see volume. Now, why is that? We know that here in America, a lot of people are addicted to gambling. They're really interested in the gambling field. Now, investing in gambling is an even better way to use your money, right? So if we're investing in the fact that other people want to gamble, that other people are involved in sports, then we're going to make a huge profit on our money. Now, we're going to go over here to Google Finance and we're going to look at their overall stock trends. Again, we see this large volatility, high peaks, low valleys. This is just for today, but if we look back at the last 5 years, we know we started not too long ago, but again, lots of peaks, lots of valleys. I want to scroll down here for you. We do have incredible volume on this stock. It is constantly being traded. It means it's actively traded amongst a large pool of investors. When there's a large pool of investors, that means everybody is watching the headlines. So it's going to be important that DraftKings is making constant moves. Now, in the last few weeks, we have plenty of headlines about why DraftKings stock is going up, down, left, right, and in every direction. But most importantly, what we do know is that Biden just got elected president. He is a much more liberal Democratic leaning president. He's going to start opening up the states to do what they want, allowing them to have their freedom. And one of the things that they want to do is start betting on sports. We're going to deregulate that market. We're going to start seeing cash flow move towards the company that are allowing this. We have Penn National Gaming, DraftKings, a lot of these companies focusing around sports and sports betting. So DraftKings is one of my picks for the long time future. Again, we can read about DraftKings. If you don't know about them already, do a short little summary of what their company is about, and you'll have a pretty good understanding of where they're going. Now, we will see, actually, we're going to take a look back at their financials. We do see here that they do have a lot of cash on hand, and their cost of revenue did increase as well. We know that they're expanding, but they're also receiving a lot of funding. Their overall business is growing, and that's what we want to see. I am not worried about this company being a young company because I'm more worried about the industry. This is something we're going to focus on in the future. And as we move towards gains in this industry, we can also look at what else Biden is affecting as we move into our next stock.
The next industry that I believe will do well in the Biden administration is the EV industry. Now, electric vehicles have been skyrocketing lately, and their companies' stocks have followed. Tesla, NIO, Lucid Motors, Fisker, and General Motors have all released new models of concept cars that they either plan on releasing or that they have already released. These stocks, such as Tesla, have grown about 8%, 800% since just April of this year. Biden has specifically said that he wants to move towards the EV industry away from oil. Now, this will have long-term impacts on the economy. As we know, we are highly dependent on oil as a nation. A lot of our freight travel, a lot of our jet fuel, a lot of our shipping, all revolves around the oil industry. Now, there's a lot more that goes into oil and the pricing behind its stock, so we shouldn't see a lot of fluctuation over the next few months to a year. I even plan on seeing some of my oil holdings move upward over the next year as we come out of the coronavirus pandemic. We're going to see a lot more people getting back in their cars, and since people have not yet bought Tesla, NIO, and other electric vehicles, they're going to be spending money on gas. Now, with Biden's administration putting a lot of money towards the EV industry, we're going to see subsidies, we're going to see tax breaks for a lot of these companies, similar to what Tesla has been getting for the last few years. Actually, they've been getting for about a decade now, but really they've put that money towards a lot of new industry cars and really bringing down the overall cost of their cars so that they can produce more at a higher quantity and become more efficient. Now, we will see another company boost over the next few months, and we actually already have seen it skyrocket. That company is GM. Now, the Biden administration is going to be looking into GM and seeing that they're coming out with new models of cars, new concept cars, but most importantly, EV cars. So the subsidies that they're going to be received are going to be huge. And not to mention, we all know that General Motors has a close tie with the federal government, and they are not going to fall. They're not going to go bankrupt. They're going to receive help at every step of the way. So we will see a general boost in this stock throughout the years to come. Now, I want to take a look at the last 10 days of this stock, and we're just going to see a steady growth pattern. A lot of people have been putting money into this stock. We're going to see the overall volumes every day at the opening is relatively high. We like to see this in a stock that's trending upward. Upward trends with upward volume means that we have a relatively good stock. Now, I believe this stock is going to be both a short-term gainer and a long-term gainer. Now, we have to keep track of headlines. If GM starts to miss production quotas, we're going to see their stock fall. Tesla has been fairly consistent with their production quotas over the last few years, and we know that they're becoming more and more stable. A lot of people have bet against Tesla, and they have been wrong. I do believe that we're going to see the same thing with General Motors. A lot of people are going to bet against it, but more people are going to bet for it to succeed because of Biden. Again, we've talked about subsidies. We've talked about their close tie to the federal government. This stock is going to do well, not only for the next few months, but I believe for the next few years to a decade. The Biden administration is going to look to be around for about 4 years. Biden's getting a little bit older. I don't see him running for a second term, but we do have Kamala. We do have a lot of other front-running candidates in the Democratic Party that have a really good chance of getting reelected if Biden has a good 4-year term. We know that in the last few decades that presidents have been reelected for a second term the majority of the time. The fact that Trump did not is actually an outlier. So we should see either Biden get reelected if for some reason he decides to run again in 4 years. And that means that we've given GM another 4 years to grow. So a total of 8 years of growth with this company with good subsidies, a lot of money going to the green deals, not the Green New Deal. I don't think Biden's going to go that way, but I do believe he's going to put a lot of money into these green, clean concepts. And GM is just one of those companies. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, guys. I do want to put out another video this week talking about 5G, something that I've been really interested in lately. I think it's going to be an interesting industry over the next 5 years. I call it the 5G 5-year program, in which we're going to be putting money towards those stocks and seeing how they pan out for us. I do believe that it's more of a 10 to 15 year payoff, but in the first 5 years is where we're going to see spikes in some of those companies. So I will be talking about them and at every stage of the way. So producers, manufacturers, cell phone companies, and which stocks have the best opportunities for growth in the future. I've already put some money into some of those stocks, so don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get those alerts and make sure that you know when that video comes out. Thank you guys for joining. This is another day with Money, Finance, Freedom. Keep tuning in and hopefully we can see a future with financial freedom. Thanks, guys.